Hello, and welcome to Where Gods Sleep. This is a short game that I made for the Ludum Dare 29 Game Jam, where the theme was Beneath the Surface. So I'm making this video with commentary for people that I know who might not be able to play the game, but would still like to be able to see the stuff that I'm working on. So if you're watching this but think you might want to play it, I suggest you do that, at least before you watch the video. I'll probably put the link to the game, it's a browser game, so you can play it there, in the video description, so if you would like to play it, you can do that right now. It's really short, so don't worry about taking too much time to play it. Right, so I said that the theme for this jam was Beneath the Surface. So the major mechanic of the game is you have this character here, and then you click down, and then you have this character here. So I read a short review of the game that said that the walk animation for this was particularly creepy. And it wasn't really something that I intended, but I guess it works considering the characters. When I was making this, I made it in, even though the jam was 3 days, I made it in a day and a half because the game that I was working on originally, I just ended up completely disliking. But I still wanted to complete a game, so I threw something together as quickly as I could, and I was sort of in a half crazy state of mind when I was making this, and I didn't want to put too much effort into making a character that looked really human, but I still wanted a character that looked rather humanoid, so I ended up making these two characters. And yeah, they are a little bit creepy. They're not meant to be human. So I mean, when I was making them originally, I kind of thought of them as aliens, but they're not really aliens either. So yeah, it's just sort of little characters that I threw together. And I think they turned out alright despite the creepy walk. So you go down and then you go up. So I did add some sound. Added sound in probably the last hour or half hour when I was working on the game before we were supposed to finish the game. So I only added sound in a few areas. I would have liked to add more sound, but I think it works the way it is, because it sort of makes these areas a little bit more prominent, I guess. So the other mechanic of the game is picking up these symbols. If you might be able to guess, that is the symbol for wind. So in these two areas I have the sun and the moon. I had actually been planning on putting them in different areas of the game as well, because I rather like the way they look, but I ended up putting them here as sort of a marker to where the central area of the game is, I guess you could say. Because it's from here that the game splits off into two paths that you can take. And you'll have to go on both of them to get all of the things and complete the game. But I do like, I sort of put them there to act sort of as a central hub marker. So there were, I wouldn't say quite a lot, but there were some people who were a little bit confused about if there was anything that you'd be able to do after getting that first symbol. And when I was making the game, I kind of wanted it to be, you know, to not really tell you what you're supposed to do, you know. It gave you the first few things you should do, and then after that you were supposed to explore and see what else is in the game by yourself without really having anything pointing you to, you know, the different areas. So after you get that first symbol, you're supposed to experiment and explore with pressing up and down in different areas to see, you know, the different places that you're supposed to go. So as you can see, you press up and then you're this character again in a different area. And I don't think there's anything if you press down here. No, it goes back to that area. So I didn't put anything over here. I would have liked to make it more obvious, you know, different areas leading to specific places, but unfortunately I was unable to do that in the time limit that I had. So like I said, some areas have sound and some don't. So as you might be able to guess, this is the water symbol. The water areas are some of my favorites in the game. I just really like the way the water turned out. And as you can see, I sort of, most of the areas sort of have a theme for each of the symbol. So as you can see here, I've made the water level gradually go up until you get to the last area, which is almost completely covered in water. See, here it's a lot less, and then here it's a little bit less. So this isn't the only area that you'd be able to go to from here. You can also click down in that area, and then you'll go to this different area. So different parts in the room will take you to different places. So as you probably can tell, this is the fire symbol. And I was mentioning earlier, each area sort of has the theme, and I was really not sure what I should be doing for fire. And so what I ended up doing here is this curly grass, which is supposed to be somewhat representative of singed grass, and this burnt, somewhat electric tree. I was sort of going for a thing there, but I wasn't quite sure what it was. Burnt-ish, electric-ish, I'm not really sure. Let's see, was there anywhere? No. Yeah, see, it's a little bit hard to tell, and I wish I had made it a little bit more obvious about the different areas that you can go to. I had planned for there to be a lot more areas to go to, but obviously I did not have quite enough time to do all of that. There was a little bit more. There used to be a lot more that you would be able to do, but I don't know, maybe I'll add it in later if I feel like it. Alright, so we've got 3 symbols. Now we just have 1 more to go. So I think... Oh. See, even I can get lost in my own game. I kind of have a map of where everything leads to, but not quite. No? Really? See, I get really easily lost in my own games. Maybe I had to click this door? Yes, okay. Oh, it's so embarrassing to get lost in my own game. I really should have made that snow come down before. I wanted to figure out how to load it before, but I did not have time to do that either, unfortunately. And finally, the earth symbol. In this area, I sort of had a mountain theme that I was going for with the snow and the lights. So I wanted to sort of make it feel like you were maybe scaling a mountain. Oh, it's so easy for me to get confused. I'm really gonna have to fix that at some time. Yeah, it's really confusing. Maybe I'll make a Where Gods Sleep Redux so it's not quite as confusing. Oh goodness. Yes, this is way too confusing. Getting lost in my own game, how embarrassing. Okay, there we go. I definitely I really would like to go back and make that way more obvious, because that's just way too confusing. Alright, and finally the last symbol. The final puzzle in the game, Become One. Apparently some people got stuck here. It has to do with the mechanic that you've been using the whole game, going up and down. And as you can see, since the two characters are connected, just press up and down. And you put all the colors back in the world. That was actually something that I ended up doing, or figuring out that I wanted to do about halfway through the game, was that almost every area except for the symbol areas are only in black and white, except for the background images. So I was sort of going for the fact that, or not the fact, but the idea that maybe something has been drained out of the world and there isn't any colors left, or maybe the colors are representative of energy or something like that. I don't know. I made the game in a day and a half. Don't judge my half-assed stories. Alright. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed.